Miss Hill, when you think about the image of women, you ESPN was like in the vanguard of having sisters and women cover sports, going into locker rooms, doing things. Talk about how this is an extension of what you all have been doing for so long.
Well, I mean, I think ESPN, our track record kind of speaks for itself. It's like we've always been on the forefront of diversity. And you look across our airwaves now, we have women and women of color in particular in a lot of prominent, positions. You have myself, you have, Carrie Champion, and certainly at the executive levels, you have a lot of women of color who are contributing in meaningful ways. So I think a lot of this is it's important that we be at the forefront of leading the conversation in terms of the development of women of color, providing opportunities, and also just providing avenues for conversations like the ones that we will have today at Howard.
When you think about that conversation is some heavy stuff going on now.
Hey, I think it's extremely powerful coming back to Howard. I was back here on Monday talking to the women's basketball team about getting them back to where we were when I graduated. But just having these conversations, like I say, my generation says major keys, and then that's what was taking place here. Talking about networking, talking about how to get from point A to point B is just super powerful, and to have that conversation now would only propel their careers.
Just to take
and I feel like I really learned something. Even though they're communications majors and I'm a sports med major, I've learned so much about networking and talking to people. I dabble in so many different things. I watch every different type of sport. I'm into politics. I'm into so many different things, and taking that and networking with that, like learning from what they're saying about, it doesn't always have to be formal. Like I don't have to be a communications major to go talk to somebody. Maybe we have something in common. Kind of talk about that. And I feel like when you are so diverse and you know so many different things, networking is so much easier. But it's all about like how you do it and the people that you're talking to. And I feel like I really learned something from that. They talked a lot about teamwork and what me playing a sport does for me in the workplace. And I feel like that's so I've never really heard that. They didn't really talk about that in high school. Now I feel like in college I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. Like just because I played a sport and I excel and I do everything I'm supposed to do and I work hard, that already puts me ahead. Because in high school you're trying to get recruited, you're trying to come to college, you're trying to figure out ways to put yourself ahead. And I feel like, oh my God, like I play a sport, I'm doing it really well, I already have like a good resume. And I feel like, some of my friends that I know that are athletes are like, oh, well, I got a good resume, I play athletics, that doesn't really, I feel like you have to go beyond that. And that's what, they were talking about that +1, like what am I going to do besides playing basketball and, being a team captain and scoring, all that stuff is great, but what else am I going to do? What else am I going to add, to my resume and everything? And I felt like that was really important. What they talked about. I honestly, it was just so much.
You're good.